Hello and welcome back to the channel. We're in a 2020 something, Polestar 2. Let's look at it. So let's take a look around the car. Quite a striking look at the back of this car. It's this one's obviously in black. Probably wouldn't be my first choice because it sort of hides a lot of the interesting features and curves of the car. Now this car is interesting because it was co-developed or developed off the XC40 electric platform at the same kind of time. Volvo works on the XC40, and that's the car we're actually up here to get today to pick up our XC40. However, it was in service and we were given this car to use over the weekend while we're waiting. It's been very interesting driving it over the course of the last, I don't know, 2 days. A very simple, easy car to drive. Supposedly this is a Tesla competitor to the Tesla Model 3 or the Model Y, and yeah, having I do own a Model 3, I would say it's a good alternative. If you're not a Tesla fan and you don't like the Tesla for some reason, then this is a good car. This is a good car option for you. It's got the Swedish kind of interior about it, which is nice. A lot more luxurious feeling and looking than the Tesla, certainly. And to drive, it's a lot more lazy and relaxed. Otherwise, you know, it's an electric car. They haven't put a huge amount of power. This is just simply a single motor version. I believe they come in a dual motor as well. So this has got a lazy 7 or 8 seconds to 100k, and you feel that on the road. You know, you wouldn't want to pull out to overtake in any great hurry, that's for sure. Other thing about this car, the user interface is clearly copied from the Tesla, but it's almost like they've taken version 1 of the Tesla and implemented it with some very, very basic features. It still has a physical key. I can't see anywhere where there is an app that would replace that key. Maybe there is, but I certainly can't see that. So big classic Volvo style key that you've got to carry around with you. In the car, you don't have any of the sort of quirky things that you get on a Tesla, so you don't get the games, you don't get the internet browsing and all that kind of stuff. You get the very basics. You get Google Maps, which is fantastic on a lovely tablet size display, and you get access to the Google Play Store and things like that. Otherwise, it's yeah, very similar. Popping up into the boot here right now, it's, you know, plenty of room in here. There's obviously a hatch down there to let skis, I suppose, through, and push that forward, and that'll be your access through to the back. It's got your usual kind of bins and things like that, and there's plenty of videos on the internet to find out how this all works. This is really interesting. Looks like at least got in there, but the fit and finish is really tidy. Definitely more superior to the Tesla in that regard. There's no question. Every little detail in the car is, you know, very well resolved and very, very well finished, and you sort of see that right through the whole car. There we go. You can see the kind of details, and a good example of that sort of Swedish IKEA look is you've got that lovely finish here. You see the detail in the seats as well. Again, far superior to what you would get in a Tesla, that's for sure. And I guess you have to compare this car with the Tesla because there's not much else that it compares with, really. And again, look at this lovely material wrapped right around the grille, beautifully resolved with some sort of detailed plastic in here, and almost looks like a B&O speaker. There is the tablet style display, incredibly simple, just one admin section. You've got your Google apps and such. You've got a car section, which is again really simple. This is interesting, the sports mode. The sports mode control there is either on or off, and when it's on, it seems like the electronic stability is off, and they call that sport mode. I wouldn't probably call that sport mode. I'd call that just be careful mode, but nonetheless. Then you've got your assistant stuff in here. You've got charging stuff. UI, really nice, really clean, there's no question. Like even just the main display over here is really clean and quite minimal. And I guess that's because this is all version 1, and you know, the Tesla display now is starting to get incredibly cluttered. And then you've got your 360 camera, which is not available, I guess, until I get into the car. It's got the quirky little Polestar gear shifter, which is nice. On the road with this car, it's really smooth. The thing about the steering wheel looks really good, but if you're a 9 and 3 fan like me, of course, holding the wheel in the correct position, there's not really anywhere properly located to put your thumbs. It's designed as a kind of a 10 and 2 boomer wheel. You get these false alerts, which we also get in our Volvo XC90 all the time traveling around. It's super sensitive. But coming back to that 9 and 3 kind of position, holding position, it's not all that comfortable. Your thumbs kind of are pressing half against the wheel, the leathery wheel or the fake leather, and then the steel, and it's a little bit uncomfortable. And then the back part where your fingers are, there's nothing to kind of grip into. It's just the back end of the leather and the plastic. So it's not a very nice feeling like it is in, say, the e-tron or even the Tesla. The Tesla has, I think, a lower diameter on the wheel. I find the comfort of the wheel is a really important part of any car, because you're holding onto that all the time. So perfect if you're a boomer, and maybe that's what they're designed for. 10 and 2, that's your position. Sure, fill your boots, but even then I wouldn't say perfect, because your thumbs are kind of rubbing up against the stitching. You know, I don't know, it's not my favorite feeling wheel, that's for sure. But the car's comfortable. It's fairly quiet. It's certainly a lot quieter than the Tesla Model 3, and I'm not really sure what sort of suspension this car has, but it feels similar to the Tesla, although less harsh perhaps. I think this car is a little bit lighter, and that'll be because it's not dual motor like my one. Again, that acceleration, full acceleration, is fairly lazy. You know, it takes several seconds to get up to 50, 60 k's, you know, that kind of thing. Lazy and sort of slow, but nothing wrong with it, you know. All the same kind of controls that you get on a Volvo, late model Volvo you'll see here, and you know, they clearly got some parts out of the Volvo bin, rebranded them, and that's nice. Nothing wrong with that. Lovely frameless mirrors all around, on the exterior mirrors and up on here. Again, that's something you'll see in the Volvos as well. See these false alarms, they're going off constantly, just driving around 50 k's, other parked cars on the side of the road, and you'll get these false alarms, and you'll get the brake pumping, the so-called phantom braking, which is not all that awesome, but that's the sort of stuff that can get updated through software. Working with the maps, again, the Google Maps is absolutely fantastic. It's it's really easy to search. It's, again, just like the Tesla. It's nice and simple. Put in your destination, and you know, it loads and goes, and it's Google, so it's really good. You've got also things like your charge distance, charge limit, and your driving assistances and things like that. Okay, well, that's our short drive in the Polestar 2. What do we think? What's the wrap up? It's a nice electric car, and if you've never had an electric car before, you're gonna love it. If you like a nice interior and a nice comfortable car, you're gonna love it. To me, it's a bit boring. The single motor is way too slow for an electric car. If you're used to Teslas, and you're used to even a Nissan Leaf, it feels a lot faster. So if you're wanting that electric car feel of crazy acceleration, this is not the car for you. Perhaps the dual motor will be, which I think is considerably faster, assuming you can get that here in New Zealand. it'll be interesting to see how I compare the platform to the XC40, which we hopefully pick that up tomorrow, and there'll be another video ready on that. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, that's important, and I'll see you next time. Better take the keys with me, that's very important.